Hey everybody, JayC here with another live stream, a special live stream edition, a Thursday night live stream edition. And primarily today, I'm doing this live stream so I can go over the new Haslab Sentinel, my Sentinel that finally arrived yesterday. So here he is in all his glory. I feel kind of like I should be like a ventriloquist where, like, hi, Mr. Sentinel, how you doing? Oh, Jay, good to see you. But I never learned how to be a ventriloquist, so I always move my lips. But anyway, I basically wanted to kind of just share this with you guys, the experience of really kind of getting my first hands-on with him. I've played with him a little bit, but again, he just arrived yesterday, and I haven't had as much time as I would have liked since then to really fool around with him. So the other reason why I'm doing the live stream today is because I did do one this past Sunday, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do a live stream on Sunday for the next 2 weeks. So this will be the last live stream, definitely of this month, which of course is the last day of the month, so no surprise there. But for a couple of weeks, this will be the last live stream that I'm able to do, just because I'm going to be away from the computer for a couple of weeks. Not that this computer where I do the live streams. I'll still be online and stuff. But I'm going to go hang out with my dad for a little bit. So let us see who is in the house tonight. I see Chris. Chris, I believe, was the first one here tonight. So welcome. Michael. Blake is in the house. What's up, Blake? Everett is in the house. Good to see you. Lord Venger is also in the house. So I know, even though it felt like I was like the last person to, actually get a Sentinel, I know there's still some folks out there who have not yet gotten their Sentinel who ordered it. I don't know if any of you guys are still waiting for yours, if you got it. But I feel your pain because, like I said, I was sitting around for, last several weeks just looking at everybody, posting their pictures and everything of the Sentinel and going, oh my God, when's mine going to show up? So I was definitely happy when it finally arrived yesterday. Mr. Cortez, what is going on? Stick Man. Looks like he's expecting his tomorrow. Nice. Be sure you're there so you can sign for it. Though I will say, I was here when they delivered it, but since it was nice weather here, actually my front door was open with just the screen door, and so they actually just left it. And then when I came down to get it, they were like, "Oh, we knew you were home because your door was open, so we just left it without the signature." I was like, "Yeah, no problem." But I've heard some people, where they say that they didn't actually end up signing for it. But I would be home, just in case, because if you're not home and they come and they deliver it, they'll definitely say, "Oh, we couldn't leave it because you weren't here to sign for it." So I know the big question on everyone's mind is the knees and the leg, and I will tell you that I really have not had any problems so far. That's not to say I won't somewhere down the road. I did, even though my knees weren't really that loose. They weren't like super tight, but they weren't like super loose where they were just falling down. But I went on yesterday when I first opened it, and I just went on and tightened, flipped this off and tightened the screws just as an extra precautionary, because this is a heavy figure. There's a lot of weight on these legs and these joints. So I will say it's probably, my figure tends to be a little more loose up in here. Again, not like super bad. I haven't had it fall over or anything like that. But I would say it's probably a little bit more loose up here than it is actually down here in the knees. But overall, I have not really had any issue with mine. That's not to say that those who have had issue are wrong or anything. I'm just saying with my particular Sentinel, I guess, I was kind of a lucky one and have not really had an issue with it. So definitely happy about that. HD Studio says he's got a shipping email from Hasbro. Well, if it's left the warehouse, like I follow, like I got more updates on the FedEx app than I did Hasbro. Like I got an email from Hasbro literally like the day before it arrived. And then it's kind of funny because I got an email yesterday morning from Hasbro wanting me like a survey asking me how they did with how I liked the Sentinel. And I hadn't even gotten this. I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to be delivered at some point in the day, but I hadn't even gotten the Sentinel yet, and they're already like hitting me up with a survey asking me how I liked it and stuff. So I had to laugh at that. But I'd been following the FedEx app and just been watching it there, which gives you more information quickly than I feel like Hasbro has. Michael says he has his Zombie Hunter Spidey Sweet, but I have to wait for my Doctor Strange. The only one from that wave I have so far is, which you can see in the back there, is Captain Carter is the only figure I've gotten in that wave so far. I just got the Iron Man wave finally. I got just the other day. Though I'm actually still waiting for my Ultron figure to show up. I have it on pre-order, but that one didn't ship with the rest of the figures. So it was going to be here this week, and then it got delayed, and now it's going to be here like next week. But that's really where I am. That's really the newest wave I've gotten. Complete. I've gotten a few of the Infinity Saga figures. I mean, there's just so much stuff coming out with Marvel Legends right now. I was talking about this on my Facebook page earlier today, and like I got a notification today that the Hercules figure is in stock, so it's sitting in my pile of loot. I'm waiting for a couple of other things to arrive before I have it sent out to me. But that figure is now in stock. The Tigra figure has started to see release. Hopefully, you caught my review of that figure. The Fantastic Four Retro Wave, I believe, is about to come in stock at places like Big Bad Toy Store. So, and then like the Age of Apocalypse Wave 2, that's out there. The Spider-Man No Way Home Wave is hitting shelves now at places like Target and Walmart. The Eternals Wave is hitting Target stores now. I mean, it's just like the amount of stuff that is hitting right now it's like crazy. And from what I've seen for next year, things are not going to be slowing down at all. So basically expect a repeat of this year, next year, and maybe even more. I'm not entirely sure, but it's just like so much, and it's like when it all starts hitting at the same time, it really just kind of is overwhelming. And it's not just the money aspect of it, though. That is certainly a part of it. But it's just like you get so much stuff that you can't even really open it and enjoy it before the next thing arrives. I mean, you can see behind me I've got a bunch of things that I've yet to really open, just because I haven't had time to. So it's really crazy. Let's see. Eloy. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I did stop collecting Legends because of cost. Too many waves back to back. Not good for the wallet. Yeah, I mean, it definitely isn't fun for the wallet either. But, even those who, where money's not really an issue, it's just like it's so much. And it's like you just, you can't really enjoy it when it's like coming out right on top of each other, wave after wave. And I mean, with Marvel, part of it you might blame on the shipping schedules, and those are all out of whack thanks to things like COVID and stuff. But with Marvel, it's really just more of they do a wave for every movie, and what we're like getting 5 Marvel movies a year now. They're doing waves essentially for every TV series. So you add that, and there's like umpteen million TV shows coming from Disney Plus, and then then add in all the comic book based stuff, and I mean it's just there's so much stuff now from Marvel. It's just crazy. Alan says he ordered 2 Sentinels from Big Bad Toy Store, but there's no telling when they will ship. Yeah, I don't know when places like Big Bad will get theirs. Originally, I heard places like Zavvi for people in the UK weren't going to get them until like December or maybe even January, but it looks like they started getting theirs already. So I think I saw like Dan Who Review already had his, so he got his before I got mine. But so my first impressions of the Sentinel is I think it's awesome. The paint applications on it are really nice. The light up function is pretty cool, though it only stays lit for a couple seconds. So I've talked about that before, where it would really be cool if you could find a way to keep it lit up all the time on your shelf. But it is nice and bright. My favorite is the red one. It turns red, and it's like a really sharp red. So I like that one the best. There it is, turning red. I put it over on the review studio, but unfortunately it's so big, it wouldn't fit. So I've got like the other all the other Sentinel. It's a Sentinel party over there on the review station table. So we'll take a look at those in a second. But unfortunately, Mr. Sentinel here is not going to fit on there and be able to stay in camera. So I got to kind of like just hold him here for you guys. The arm joints are really tight. Those are probably the tightest joints of them all. And he doesn't have a whole lot of ankle pivot. It's got some up and down movement, but that's okay for me. I mean, honest to God, truth is I'm probably not going to spend. I'm probably going to find a cool pose with other Sentinels and then just put them on the shelf and have them stay there. I don't anticipate putting him in a ton of different poses and stuff. And I'm definitely keeping the master mold head on there. You get the regular head. Whoops. You get the battle damage head. This is probably, for toy photographers, this one, to use with like your Wolverine figure and stuff. I've seen a lot of people doing some cool pictures with that. You get the battle damage hand to go along with it. And then you get the Tri-Sentinel head, which I don't think really works that well with this, because to me the Tri-Sentinel looked a lot more different, not just the head itself. So this is definitely the head, the master mold head. And then I'm going to put I've got the Marvel Universe Sentinel. This is a really good figure. I like this one better than the Toy Biz one. This one actually talks. I don't know if you knew this, but Jesse Falcon from Toy Biz, you also maybe have seen him in some of the Hasbro live streams. He works for Marvel. He's kind of the liaison between Marvel and Hasbro. He actually did the voice for this. That's actually his voice. So I like that one. And then of course I have the classic Toy Biz Build-A-Figure, which again, but these are going to be like my Sentinel. These guys are going to be my regular Sentinel army, and then this is going to be, obviously the leader. This one, the leg always falls off. I don't know how many of you have this old Toy Biz one, but if you pick up the figure from the upper body, expect the legs to just drop off because they always fall off, and have since like day one. I bought this figure when it first, I got this wave when it first came out back in the day, and that's always been an issue. Everett's ready to talk turtles. Everett says he hopes Mirage Turtles are going to get re-released by. I think that's probably a pretty good possibility. They definitely seem to have some large plans for the Mirage stuff. So, and they're going to make those turtles in April available for those who didn't get the old ones back in the day. Jerry says master mold for him. Carlos says he hopes they re-release a variant color of the Sentinel. I have to what. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they did re-released it, or if they found a way to sell this. Take this mold and sell it down the road. But I do have to wonder how many people would get upset if Hasbro ended up re-releasing this in some way. Down the road. They always make it sound like, this is the only way you're ever going to be able to get it. But, you have to wonder if at some point down the road they wouldn't reissue it or re-release it or something. So I definitely think it's possible. I don't think it's like going to be like in the next year or so, but I could see maybe 5 years from now, maybe them coming back to this and re-releasing it with some paint variations or something. I'd be curious to know, like, I mean, I've seen some people have, like, I saw on Facebook somebody had posted a picture of somebody who had, like, gotten, like, 20 of these things. Now, I don't know quite how they managed to get 20, because if I remember correctly, there was a limit, like 5 was the most you were supposed to be able to order online. Now, I'm sure there were ways around that, but... And he said that he was going to display them all, so I assume he wasn't like going to resell them. But I would be curious to know what is the record for most Sentinels, not to sell, but just to have in your collection. What's the record that who holds the record for the most Sentinels in their collection? The Haslab Sentinel. I'd be curious to know who that is and what number. What's the top number? Alexander says the Tri-Sentinel can be the prop on a Spider-Man show. I mean, that's where I remember the Tri-Sentinel from, is that issue of Amazing Spider-Man that I think, if I remember correctly, was drawn by Eric Larson. That cover, I think he was the first one to. I don't know. I don't remember if that was the first appearance of the Tri-Sentinel. I think it was, wasn't it? But I don't remember for sure. But that's definitely, when I think of the Tri-Sentinel, that is. That cover of Amazing Spider-Man is the one I think of the most. What's up, Henry? Everett says this guy wants to charge me $800 for all 5 of them. Okay, I missed the first part of your comment. Are you still talking turtles? If you're talking turtles, I would not pay $800 for. If you're talking about the 4 turtles in April, I would just hold off, because, like I said, I'm pretty sure NECA will get around to re-releasing those. So let's pop over and we'll take a look here. Quick look at the other the Bastion. So I mean, as a pack in and add on, I think this is a pretty nice figure. And then the female. Actually, you get that alternate head. I guess it's made more for this one. But I like Bastion, so. Unfortunately, this head doesn't look very good on this female body. And then this Sentinel from the House of X-Wave. I actually just put this together today. I don't know. These heads were a pain in the ass to get on. I don't know if anyone else had that kind of problem with this figure, but I had to take a hairdryer and heat it up for like good 5 minutes to get these things to pop in. And he doesn't stand worth a crap. And then Nimrod. One of my first X-Men comics was with Nimrod. It's the one where he's on the cover where he's just kind of like, he's the only thing on the cover. I forget what issue it is, but that was one of my first X-Men issues that I ever got. So I have a fondness for Nimrod. So I'm going to put all these guys together somewhere. I haven't decided exactly where I'm going to put them, but I'm going to find one shelf where I can put all these Sentinels. I don't think I have a shelf where I could put like a cool display of having like the X-Men battling the Sentinels. I unfortunately don't have that kind of space. So I think I'm just going to have it as an all Sentinel shelf. Coco says he likes the figs with Galactus better. I already have the Silver Surfer, so that one didn't do much for me. I do like the Nova figure and the Morg figure. So, yeah, I would agree with you on that. Was it 193? Just because no, it wasn't 193. It was after that, so I think it was in the 200s. I want to say maybe 212, something like that. So 212 was Mutant Massacre, getting into the Mutant Massacre. Or no, I guess this was actually after the Mutant Massacre. Let's try it this way. Yeah, I think this is. No, this is the one. This is the one. So, X-Men 209. Yeah, this was one of my first. But like, I have not read any of the House of X stuff. That's not true. I read like the first two issues, but I've not really delved into the House of X storyline. So like, I'm not familiar with really many of the characters in there. Mario, any word on Marvel's Eternals Ajax Walmart exclusive release date? Well, I don't know exactly when it's going to be released, but I think it's going to go up on the Walmart website during their Walmart Collector Con thing, which is like August 7th and 8th, if I remember correctly. So I think that's when it'll be available. Whether it's available for direct purchase or it'll be a pre order, I'm not entirely sure. And when it hits physical stores, I assume it'll hit physical stores. I don't know that either, but I would expect to see it available on the Walmart website during that Walmart Collector Con event. Same thing with the Athena, the Target exclusive one should be going up this Sunday. So if you're wanting to get the Angelina Jolie character, Sunday is probably when you want to be online at 8 a.m. Central Time. Though I don't think it's probably going to sell out fast, and I don't know if it'll start hitting physical stores at that time or not, because the regular wave has started to hit stores already, but I haven't heard of anybody finding any of the exclusives yet. Set up your 3-inch Marvel Universe X-Men with all your huge Sentinels. That's a good idea. I could do that. I have all those Marvel Universe figures, so I might try it. I don't know. I still don't know if I have the shelf space. At least, like, I mean, I could technically put them on there, but to really get in like a really cool battle scene, I don't know if I have the shelf space to do that. Like, if I'm gonna move, guys are gonna get a quick little tour here. So I'm gonna move this camera. So sorry if you get motion sickness. But so I could, if I move the Castle Grayskull and the He-Man figures, I could probably set something up there pretty cool. But I don't know if I want to move the Castle Grayskull. I might put the Sentinel over here on this shelf where the Hot Toys War Machine is. But so this is near my desk, so I'd be able to look at it all the time. But I wouldn't be able to do much display wise. There's my Unicron. But I don't think I want to hang the Sentinel up like that, so I think I'm going to keep the Sentinel on a shelf. And then I have a shelf up in my main office where I could put it as well, but I don't spend as much time up there these days, so I don't know if I want to put it up there. Because I kind of want to be able to have it where I am most of the time so I can, enjoy it. So I haven't totally worked out where I'm going to put it. But that's a good idea with the 3 3/4 inch X-Men, the Marvel Universe figures. That would probably look pretty cool. Hey, Capano Bear, what's up? salutations to you as well, and thanks for the super chat donation. Much appreciated. Ryan said, Castle Grayskull showed up today. Super excited to get it. What do you think? I I liked it. I mean, I use it as a display piece for my figures, and I think it's pretty good. I mean, it's very much like the original toy. So if you had the original or some variation of that original one, you know what to expect. But I mean, it's a solid play set, even by 80 standards. It's definitely a cool play set. Um, I'm debating. I have not decided whether I want to get a Wind Raider. I originally wasn't going to, but then I've been thinking, well, I might display it on the Castle Grayskull. You can put it up there in the tower, and they keep making these add-on pieces that you can put around the Grayskull. So I haven't decided whether that would be the only reason I get it, because it doesn't come with any figures, and I don't really have any other use for the Wind Raider. But just so I could display it with the Castle Grayskull, I've been debating whether I want to get it or not, but I haven't actually gotten it yet. Unicron has committed suicide in the basement. Yeah, he is hanging. But he hasn't lost his head yet, so there's that. Ba-dum-bum. Did I get the robot pre-order? Not sure which robot you're referring to. Jerry says he only saw it in store once and grabbed it. Yeah, well, I got my. I went into it. It was an impulse buy. It was going into my Walmart, which I don't go into very much because usually it's a waste of time. Usually the shelves are pretty bare. But I went in just to see what they had, and there was one on the shelf, so I went on and picked it up. But I've seen it. It's been available fairly readily online though. So I mean, I wouldn't say it's hard to get, but I've not seen it in physical stores a whole lot. Yeah, I agree. The Talon Fighter probably would display better on the Castle Grayskull like the original, but they have not made any indication that they're going to release that. So I don't know. Most of the I can't I got to be honest. And again, if you've heard me talk about Masters of the Universe, it is not a toy line that I had as a kid. One of the few toy lines I did not have as a kid. One of the few main toy lines, I guess I should say. That's not true because honestly, I was mostly a Star Wars, Transformer, and GI Joe guy, so I didn't have much outside of that. But when I was growing up, I definitely had friend. He-Man was at its prime, and I had friends who had He-Man toys. I just for whatever reason never really got into the toys. Watched the cartoon, but never got into the toys. But the vehicles just I like the Sky Sled, I like the Attack Track, but the other vehicle, like the Wind Raider, I never found to be a very cool design. Um, so I don't know, but I agree with you that the Talon Fighter was cooler looking than the Wind Raider. Pono Bear says the one, yeah, those armored action. I saw those. Yeah, they do look kind of interesting. They're a little bit on the, if I remember correctly, they're a little bit on the pricey side, but they definitely had kind of a cool look to them. Henry, do I keep a lot of figures in the box? As a rule, I don't, but as you can see behind me, I definitely. But this isn't really like I'm keeping these in the box as a mint box collection. The figures you see behind me, and obviously the Sentinel there, it's had up there for display and has already been opened. But the other stuff you see back there, it's more of I just haven't gotten to it and found a place for it yet. So I will eventually open most of that stuff that you see back there. A few things I'll probably keep on the card back, but most of the figures you see behind me, I will eventually open. Now, I don't know how well you can see. There's a whole row of box of Marvel Legends up on this top shelf. Those are either empty boxes that I've just kept, or they are duplicates that I've gotten in some shape or form. Mostly, a few are ones, once again, that I just have not yet gotten around to opening. Um, Part of it's because, like, if I want to have a place for it, I don't want to just like throw it into a crate. So if I haven't found a place for it, I haven't opened it yet. Is basically where a lot of this stuff comes down to. But I am not generally like a mint and package type collector. I generally don't collect like with the idea that maybe one day I'm going to resell the stuff. Um, so I technically, well, yes, I have stuff that is still in the box. I'm not really a keep it in the box kind of guy. Michael, no, I did not get more than one. The one Sentinel is all I ended up getting. Again, my idea being is the Haslab Sentinel will be my master mold, and then the Marvel Universe and the Toy Biz Sentinel, which are small, will be my regular Sentinel figures. But I didn't have this space really to army build the Haslab Sentinel, nor did I really feel like spending that much money. Lord Vosh. I assume you mean the retro one from Playmates? No, I did not. That's another line that, as a kid, I never collected. I never collected the original Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I don't have, there's not a lot of nostalgia for me for those original turtle figures. I watched the original cartoon all the time, but I never collected those toys. So, like, I've been into the NECA turtle figures. Um, that's mostly the turtle stuff that I collect right now. Thunder Tank still available. I have that on pre-order from Big Bad, so that's going to be another big one that I'm waiting for. I've got the Razor Crust, which will be shipping at the end of the year, early next year, so I'm gonna have to find a place for that one as well. Uh, I it looks like very like I know Big Bad Toy Store has a Slithe and I think it what Captain Cracker in stock, but they haven't gotten. I guess they haven't gotten Jaga in yet for some reason. So I'm still waiting on my because I ordered the three together. Well, I ordered the entire wave, but Chitara got pushed back. But so yeah, I'm waiting for I guess Jaga to come in stock before I actually get them. But it seems like, and I've seen other people already getting like their Slithe and stuff. So it seems like we're actually going to get some new Thundercat figures here in the fairly near future. Well, I mean that's cool, man. If you don't have the money, don't force it. Don't you'll regret it if if you have to put yourself in debt to get something like that. I would say it's a mistake. Um, but yeah, the thing about that Thunder Tank is it'll probably be available for a while at places like Big Bad Toy Store. So maybe down the road, if you come into some extra money, then you might be able to get it. But definitely, I wouldn't. I see some people are like, oh, I've got to sell all my stuff so I can get this figure, and I'm like, yeah, that's just a little. I don't know. It's just to me, this is like it's not a None of these action figures are a necessity. Um, so I enjoy them. They bring me pleasure, not in that way, but I like looking at them. I mean, they're decorative pieces. To me, they're like artwork, I guess you could say. Um, and so, but if it came down to paying my bills or, paying off debt, which is something I've been working on doing um, here in recent years, that's far going to be far more beneficial to you than buying an action figure. So just a little bit of financial advice from me to you. Not that I'm a financial genius in any way. But I've lost track. What the wave with Slythe was wave 3 originally, right? If so, then yes, that wave minus Jatara, which they decided did not come meet their specifications from the factory, so they held it back, has started to arrive at retailers. So if I believe that was wave 3, so yes. Yes, Sean confirms Scythe is wave 3. I agree. That slide looks sweet. I mean, so do another quick little. I'm gonna move the camera again. So again, I apologize for motion sickness. But actually, not sure if I can pull the camera out enough. So zoom in a little bit there. But that's my Thundercat shelf right now. So those are all actually primarily Mattel figures. I haven't put them out on the shelf yet, but I did get the Mumra exclusive one that glows in the dark from Super 7. But right now, I just have all the Mattel figures on display. I did not get like the updated Lion-O and Panthro. I just stuck with my Mattel ones. And I was lucky enough to get Wily Kit and Wily Cat back when they were released. So, but I'm definitely waiting for I was definitely bummed when Jutara got delayed. But Slythe, I've got Jackalman, but Slythe. I'm looking forward to getting Slythe. Like characters like Captain Cracker. I mean, they're kind of cool. I remember them from the cartoon, but it's like they're not like I only got them just because I figured why not, but like it wouldn't be the end of the world if I didn't have Captain Cracker. But I definitely want the main mutants, the main Thundercat team. Those are the ones I'm definitely most interested in getting. What's up, Hassan? Henry G says he has Kit and Cat too. I don't know. Like I was kind of expecting them to have put them out by now, or pre-order wise. Not that we would have them in hand, but I don't know when they're going to release those two. Snarf too. I'm really going to be curious. Obviously, I don't see them releasing Snarf by himself, but I don't know where or how they're going to release Snarf. But I can't imagine that they wouldn't release a Snarf figure in some way. I don't know if we'll ever see a cat slayer. I won't say it's impossible, but and a lot would probably depend on how well the tank actually did for Super 7. But I don't know. It'd be interesting. I mean, they did the Snake Mountain, so it'd be cool to see them do a cat slayer. But again, I don't know. I don't have a good enough feel of how well the tank did. I feel like the tank didn't do like super awesome. Like it sold probably maybe the bare minimum that they needed it to. But so I don't know if that would put a damper on them doing other vehicles or playsets or anything. But Super 7, tends to, you know, do a lot of things like that. So, who knows? Maybe Snarf that. I forget what his name was. I mean, there was a whole planet of Snarfs. Yeah, that would be interesting. That I could see that working, kind of like they're doing with the turtles with the Mausers. I mean, probably Mausers are probably a little bit smaller than what the Burbles would be, but I could see them maybe doing two Burbles and a Snarf as like a yeah, as like maybe a multi pack or something. I thought they were gonna throw in Snarf as an add-on for the Thunder Tank. To be honest, I was really kind of expecting that. Snarfer. And what was Snarf's nickname? I forget. He had a nickname that like he was embarrassed when the Thundercats found out about. Salome's upstairs. She hasn't been coming down for these live streams lately. I don't know, but she's upstairs. I'll tell her you were thinking about her. She actually was down here like if like maybe 15 minutes before the live stream was started, but then she left. Lord Vash, the updated lino, the difference is the paint. You get, I think, like more accessories. I think you maybe get, and I'm going off the top of my head, so I might be wrong here, but I think you get like an extra head sculpt that you didn't get with the Mattel one. There might even be some, actual slight modifications to the overall sculpting of the body. I don't remember. I think Panthro got some updates in that regard, but I don't remember if Lino did. But what I do know is that what to me at least it wasn't enough of a difference to warrant putting down $55 for another Lionel. So I was more than happy enough with my Mattel one. I got the I got the Legion figure, but honestly, that was the only one that I was interested in getting from that wave. So I have not really been actively looking, but it's definitely out there. I mean, that wave has definitely started to see release. And Sean says, Big Bad has got the AOA wave in stock now. So I'd be curious to know what you guys, how many of you guys saw this week's episode of What If and what you thought of that. I got to be honest, it kind of left me a little. I was not. It wasn't like horrible or anything. I haven't found any of the episodes horrible, but I definitely felt like there were unplausible things, implausible things in the episode. Jerry hasn't seen it, so he says no spoilers. Hassan says it was underwhelming. I mean, I will wait until we see next week's episode before I make a final decision, but there were just some definite things I found questionable. But we won't talk spoilers because I don't want to ruin it for Jerry. Apparently, Jerry didn't like last week's episode with Thor. I thought last week's episode was funny, so I enjoyed it just from the funny aspect. Not that it was like a well deep thought out story or anything. It certainly wouldn't hold any real canon to it, but I thought it was kind of funny. So, and there, it's kind of like the one with Star Lord uh, T'Challa. I didn't think the story was like that great overall, but I enjoyed just kind of like the tribute to Bozeman and stuff that I felt like that episode kind of was. So honestly, I feel like all the stories, and I get the the 30-minute episodes, so they don't have time to really go into in depth. But I feel like they definitely just kind of glance over things or just kind of make vast assumptions just to get to where they want to go with the actual story of how it differs from the regular MCU that aren't really terribly plausible. There's more than one episode where I kind of felt that way. Yeah, see that's how I felt. It was almost like I don't know if you've ever read the What the comics, which was kind of a comedic take on What If. So I kind of felt like it was a What the kind of episode, that Thor episode. So I enjoyed it for the laughs, but I didn't take it seriously. And I didn't like. I'll be honest, I did not like the zombie episode that much. Now I will say that and add that I am not a huge fan of zombie stuff in general. It's always the same. It's like you fight through all these zombies and you kill them, and then all of a sudden you like at the very end you get scratched or something, and then you turn into a zombie or a whole new batch of zombies pop up or something. It's like it's never ending. So I've never been a huge fan of zombie movies and zombie stories in general, but I did not think the zombie episode was super great either. To me, it was like we know everybody loves zombies and loves Marvel zombies, so we're just doing this episode so we can feature Marvel characters as zombies. That's really kind of how I saw it. Oscar likes the Doctor Strange episode. That actually was better than I thought it was going to be. Though that is another one that I had a little bit of a problem with, and hopefully that episode's old enough that we can talk about it a little bit. So my big problem with that was the idea that somehow his girlfriend had to die, whereas in the original movie she didn't die. So how did that become this thing where it was, this focal point that could not be changed without essentially destroying the universe? It just that was kind of weird to me. Otherwise, I thought it was a pretty good episode, but I just was like, but wait a minute, she didn't die in the original movie, so what? How is that a thing? how come you can't save her when She obviously didn't die originally in the original movie. I think actually the one I liked the least was the one where all the Avengers get killed. I didn't like that one very much. Where they get murdered. I will agree with you there. The Ant Man, the head, that was pretty funny. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get a figure of that, like as a pack in with one of the other figures. I gotta say, the Watcher's pretty badass. I mean, I know he's a powerful dude, but I never really thought of him as like in the way that we've been kind of seeing him in the series. I don't know if I've ever seen him be that hands on. It was a trade. Alexander says it was a trade off between losing his hands, she lives, his heart dies, or if he saved his hand, she dies and his heart dies. I guess. But I mean, it's not like it ever came up where it was like, well, if you sacrifice your hands, she can live. Yes, in the original movie, his hands were damaged and she lived, but it wasn't like it was ever presented to him that, well, all you got to do is sacrifice your hands and she'll live. That would have made a little more sense to me. And even maybe a little more fitting for the character because it would have been like he was desperately trying to save the love of his life, but at the same time, he wasn't willing to give up his hands, which was basically how where his self worth was built around. And so he was doing everything else possible to try and save her, including essentially destroying the universe. That would have actually kind of made more sense to me, but they didn't really draw that line in the story that I recall at least. So one thing I do like about the What If series is I think they've done a really good job with the casting. Obviously, the actors that they've brought over straight from the MCU, which is cool to see. But I'm talking about the ones like the Iron Man and Captain America and Black Widow. You know, I felt like they've done a really good job of finding replacement voices that sound very similar to the originals. You're not sitting there watching it and thinking, "Man, this doesn't sound anything like Black Widow," or "Man, this doesn't sound anything like Tony Stark." I thought they've done a pretty good job replacing the actors that they couldn't get to come on to the series from the original MCU. I thought they've done a good job with that. He didn't wind up in a relationship with her at the end of the movie. If he does in the sequel, then they contradict themselves. I always felt like they were setting her up to become I forget her name, but God, she has white hair. She basically was his girlfriend in the comics. Also like a sorceress type character. But I felt like they were setting her up to become that character eventually. I haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, so no spoilers there, Jerry. Speaking of movies, who's going to go see the new Venom movie this weekend? I probably will wait for it to come out on home release, but the fight scenes. I This is my take based on trailers, so I might be wrong, but I feel like it's going to have some cool CGI fight scenes between Venom and Carnage, but beyond that, I don't give a lot of hope that this is going to be a great movie. Though I will say that Woody Harrelson does a pretty good job, and I think is perfect casting for Cassidy. So maybe it'll be more interesting than I think. But I was not a huge fan of the first Venom movie, so maybe that's why I have low expectations. Well, that's my thing. I don't feel like sitting in a movie theater for 2 hours having to wear a mask. I understand the need for the mask. I'm not saying don't wear your mask, but I'm saying until we get to a point where you don't have to wear a mask, I really am not have no strong desire to go sit in a movie theater and watch a movie. So yeah, that's who I was thinking about. How do you say? I've always seen it in the comics, but I don't know how they pronounce it. I don't think it's Clea, but I think you're BS and Coco. But we're so short-staffed that passing up on OT to catch a film feels like a waste of opportunity. I need those street humans. Nice. Shartimus Prime Street Humans going up for Kickstarter pre-orders next month on the 7th, I think it is. I've heard that rumor too. Of course, I think that rumor comes from the same people who swear that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to be in the new Spider-Man movie, no matter how many people say that they're not. Allen's. I don't know where that came from. It'd be cool to see, but I don't know. Am I getting the Hydra Stomper? I don't know, Blake. I've been debating. I got Captain Carter. I would have definitely gotten it had they given us at the very least like where you could pop up the top and have a Steve Rogers head sticking out. I was a little disappointed we didn't get any kind of scrawny Steve Rogers, but I probably will get it just to go with the Captain Carter figure. I've I saw the Infinity Saga Ironmonger at Target a couple weeks ago, but I decided to pass on it. I haven't totally ruled out that I'm going to get it, but I just at the time it just didn't. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hold off. Like I've been cherry picking more and more Marvel Legends just because there's just so much stuff that's coming out. It's hard to keep up with everything. So like I have from the Infinity Saga stuff. I have Warrior Thor. I have the Captain Marvel 2 pack. I plan on getting Quicksilver, though I haven't gotten that one yet. But I don't know how many of the others from that line I'm going to actually get. And same thing with like the Disney Plus Wave 2 figures. Like I got Captain Carter, and I would like to get the Watcher, but I don't know if I want to get all the figures in that wave. So I haven't decided, if I'm going to actually end up getting all those or not. There's something wrong with the site. Every time you go there, you get a privacy warning. Uh, Not that I'm aware of. You're the first I've heard saying that, but I'll keep my eyes. I don't get anything like that. It can be hard to tell if that's something on your end, or it's sometimes there can be a rogue ad. We run network ads, and sometimes rogue ads get slipped in there that I really have no control over. So, if I see it, I can, because they're ads that are run by a third party essentially. They're not supposed to be there, but sometimes they do slip in, and those can throw off like give you messages like that. But I have not heard anything recently like that, so I'll keep an eye out. You might just check on your end to see if your privacy settings or something are set differently. Trevor needs Nova and Quasar. I definitely want Quasar. If I see Nova, I will get him, but I have a Nova figure, so I can work with that. But I definitely want Quasar. I'm going to be going to an area where there's a lot of Walgreens, so I'm hoping that I can find Nova when I'm there. I don't think Quasar's been released here in the U.S., so I don't expect to find Quasar. Walgreens exclusives to me have become my most annoying exclusives because they're not putting them up on their website anymore. They used to put them up on their website, so you could get them even if you didn't have like a ton of Walgreens near you. But now they seem to stop doing that. So, and I don't have a ton of Walgreens in my area, so and the ones I do have are never stocked worth a damn. So if that's to me, let me wait till I get back from my trip. If I don't find Nova, then I might take you up on that. But like I said, I'm going to a place where there's like a Walgreens on every corner, so I'm really hoping while I'm there, I can find them. And like I said, I don't think Quasar's out here in the U.S., so unfortunately, I don't think there's any chance I'm going to find Quasar. But that's really out of between Nova and Quasar, that's really the one I want most. Well, it's certainly possible. Venom is supposed to be the sixth villain in the Sinister Six in the MCU because so far we have only five. Venom's never been a part of the Sinister Six, so I don't know where you heard that, but I take it with a grain of salt. But definitely hope that's not true. But I mean, if we're taking villains from other Spider-Man movies and bringing them, piping them over into the MCU, we've got Green Goblin, who has been a member of the Sinister Six. We've got Sandman, which has been a member of the Sinister Six. We've got Doc Ock, which is a member of the Sinister Six. We've got Electro, which has been a member of the Sinister Six. Mysterio, which has been a member of the Sinister Six. And Vulture, which has been a member of the Sinister Six. So I would imagine those, if we end up seeing an actual Sinister Six, and if they're bringing all the villains over from the other Spider-Man movies to fill that out, that's what I would imagine you would have for your Sinister Six team. And I think we will see a Sinister Six, but I still say that we're probably not going to see them form in this next movie, at least not in a big way. I think this is going to build up the Sinister Six, this movie, and this is just my theory based on really nothing, but I would, I don't see them trying to cram the Sinister Six in along with all this other multiverse stuff. It just seems like it would be too much and we get too convoluted. So I feel like this movie will show us how these members from these other universes, Doc Ock and such, get into the MCU universe. And then the next movie would be your big Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six movie. That's how I feel like that's at least how they should go. I mean, we'll see. But Blake says we need new Wrecking. We just got the Wrecking Crew not too long ago. I want to see a Titania figure. We got Absorbing Man. Now we need Titania. Oh, Lizard. Yeah, we've got Lizard. That's another one. Rhino, I don't think was ever really a member of the Sinister Six. Craven was a member of the Sinister Six, but we haven't seen a movie version of Craven yet. So, I mean, they could introduce a Craven, but Alexander's dashing my hopes that I'm going to find a Nova. He's checked 16 in his area with no success. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. The figures in the wave aren't doing a whole lot for me, but the armadillo definitely is a cool build a figure. So I don't know. I hate it when like the only figure you want is the build a figure, and I realize that's the whole point of the build figure, but I gotta say that would be kind of stupid if they did that. I think maybe there was. I lose track. There's been so many so-called Sony Spider-Man themed movies that were in the works, then got canceled, and so I'm sure Craven's name popped up at one point or another. I mean, at one point they were going to do a Sinister Six movie, you know, when they were doing the Andrew Garfield movies, but that didn't pan out. Yeah, I agree with you, Blake. That's where I think of Armadillo. He was part of that wrestling league, if I remember correctly. I think that's how he got his powers from that super powered wrestling federation. Same place where John Walker got his super strength and stuff. But I mean, there Hasbro's been kind of like I wouldn't normally consider Armadillo Spider-Man villain, but they're throwing him in there. It's kind of like with Speedball, the rumored Speedball figure that's going to be in the Avengers wave. I would have all the other Thunder or all the other New Warrior figures that they've released were in Spider-Man waves, so it was kind of weird. I was kind of surprised to see him pop up in an Avengers wave, but oh, Salome's ears must have been burning because she's arrived. Of course, the camera's up too high for you to actually really be able to see her. Say hi, Salome. You can see Salome's tail. That would be a weird choice if that I don't remember that, but I think you would need somebody a little bit buffer and bigger to be Craven. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that reused for a character like Rhino. All right, well, I think I'm going to it's getting on to be 8:30, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Again, no live streams for the next 2 Sundays, but I'll be back that following Sunday. But nothing this Sunday and nothing next Sunday. I do not know. I would say go to their Facebook page. I usually put that information there, but off the top of my head, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so we're gonna wrap it up here. I appreciate you guys coming in, joining me with tonight's surprise live stream. If you've got a Sentinel on the way, hopefully it arrives soon for you. Hopefully it'll have tight knees. Thanks, Jerry. Though it's not a total vacation, unfortunately. I still have to work. I just get to take my work with me, but yeah, so I will probably be doing news videos, regular videos, just no live streams for the next 2 Sundays. But yeah, so, but as always, guys, stay safe out there. Thanks for stopping in tonight, and I'll catch you guys later.